All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, just to recap, the market was what I forgot was we had the FOMC today, and basically that was a kind of stalled the market out a little bit because we didn't get the movement that we thought we were going to get. So we got movement early on in the day. So basically, we're looking at QQQ. And as you can see here, QQQ started out going up a little bit. Let's make it a bigger chart. Let's change the time frame. Let's look at it in 15-minute intervals. So basically, right, we started out a little bit and then kind of came down and then kind of just stayed sideways a little bit until we heard a little bit news from the Fed that they weren't going to change anything, and then stocks came back down a little bit. But as we've seen in the after hours, let's see which one we want to look at. I don't want to look at this one. All right. I got some of these open because of the trades I was in, but let's look at Meta, right? So y'all remember this is the tick list for this week, right? So Meta was on the list, but Meta was pretty expensive. But as you can see, after earnings, Meta went kind of crazy, right? Meta went up, what is that, like $50? 50, $70 actually. Meta went up $70 and then came back down to $40, right? So Meta shot all the way up. So you want to be cautious on Meta and keep your eye on Meta this week, because I know the IV, implied volatility, is super high, stupid high on Meta. So it's going to be pretty high, but keep your eye on it. Like I said, it's gapped up. It came all the way up back up here, so it's going to gap up. And usually when you see a gap up, right, there's going to be some trickle down. I mean, it gapped down really basically in after hours, but keep your eye on Meta, and if you can afford a contract, you want to keep your eye on that one. So also, I took out 2 contracts. Remember yesterday we talked about Shopify. Shopify came up yesterday or today. If we go here, I actually got into Shopify around I think it's around $25. I got into Shopify. Like I said, it probably one of the best day to get in the contract. And as you can see here on the 5-minute candle, I got in kind of close to here, right? So this is around 139. We were going up. Well, we came down. I got in here. Yeah, I got in here early because I thought, hey, we may be trying to reverse. Came back down 137, shot all the way back up, right? But unfortunately, I don't know if this is due to just the contract that I got, because I pushed it out to February 160, but it didn't move like it was supposed to, right? Because what I was trying to do, but as you can see here, when Shopify went up the first time, right? When it first came out, it went up to 140, right? So I waited a little bit before I got in to after about 9:15. I usually wait till after 9:15 before I get into a new play, right? And then it started to go back up, and I got in it thinking we were going to come back up to here. And my expectation was when I got in was we were going to come up back up to 141, which I talked about yesterday, and we could potentially go higher if we look at the day, right? On the day's perspective, we can pretty much go up to 142 or 144, right? So I was anticipating us going up to 144, but unfortunately, the contract price did not update. you see it was real choppy, right? Real choppy, and maybe because it was low volume, I'm not sure. Shopify is low volume, although if we look here, right, we've been averaging about 6-7 mil, right? But maybe this particular contract was low. But anyway, it didn't move that much, right? So in the beginning of the day, it moved up to $50. We went all the way from 20 to 50. So my thought was, if I got back in around 25 and then we came back up to 140, 141, I felt like we get to 141, then it would come back up to 50, and that'd basically give me 100% profit. And even if not 50, if it went to 40 or something like that, then I could have got out. So it went up, right? But the contract barely moved, right? We were still around 2025, which I found was odd. I need to kind of figure that out, because it kind of screwed me a little bit. I'm still in that contract. We are, as you can see, it went all the way up to 142 and then came back down. So we might go back to 142. Hopefully in the morning it shoots up. We'll see. We have earnings in the morning. Let's see what earnings we have in the morning. So before open, we got MasterCard. So this, we got Honeywell, which I believe is in the industrial sector. Anything else? Blackstone, Lockheed Martin. I think these are defense companies. I know Lockheed Martin is a defense company. And maybe Blackstone, I'm not sure. Fisher Scientific, it's an instrument tool. They do a lot of different things. But anyway, tomorrow starts maybe hopefully the regaining of the financial sector, right? So remember I told you guys to make sure we, on our little list from yesterday, right? We were looking at BRKB and JPM, and I'll get to those in a second. I also had Shop, Walmart. Remember, I was in Walmart. I took my profit on Walmart. I think it was like 30%. It actually shot all the way up to, Walmart shot all the way up to 40, 41. I didn't take profit. Like I said, today was FOMC. I should have took profit here. I did that, so I took profit when it got back down to like 33. When it started to come down a little bit, I was upset. But Walmart is still good. Walmart, we can still look at February 6th contracts. Walmart is still a good play. So keep your eye on Walmart. I will be looking at Walmart tomorrow. Like I said, it came back down. So if it comes back down and maybe we can get in Walmart, I might even think about doing a 0 day, meaning instead of giving it so much time, if it looks pretty good and it looks like it wants to shoot up again, then I have no problem hopping back in Walmart, because I think we definitely can get back up. And there's still a lot of volume on Walmart. Right, let's even the 30th, right? See, we still got a good amount of contracts that's still looking up for Walmart. So keep your eye on Walmart, pretty cheap, and is moving a little bit. So keep your eye on that one. All right, if we look, so now basically I'm just going back over the trade. We got back in that, so that was a good trade for us. Nvidia, did I do Nvidia? I did get into Nvidia. I got in Nvidia around, I think 20. I was at $20, right? We came down. It came all the way down to 15 because due to the pullback, right? Because I got in around here. I thought when it like around 20, I thought we could get back up to maybe 35, and then I would have took my profit as plus 15, which would have been, what's that, 50? So about 70% profit on this one. And it took a minute to get back up. It never got quite up there like it did in the previous day. So I was looking around to see if we would come back. But like I said, FOMC was today. But Nvidia kind of went up. I was not expecting Nvidia to go up. But remember, I told you guys last night. NVIDIA is something we could look at, 200C. And we'll keep watching this tomorrow. It's very cheap. You can get it easily 50, 60% on this, and maybe even 100% if you get in it right. NVIDIA is something you want to keep an eye on tomorrow too, depending on how QQQ moves or how the tech center moves. Tech sector moves. I said center. Tech sector moves tomorrow. Okay. So also, our AVGO, AVGO worked in our favor. Remember on Monday, I told you guys I got into AVGO. I got in up here, so it was like 80. This Friday. So I got in up here, it was like $80, right? If I would have waited, I could have got in at 58. And we would have had, this would have been probably a 200%er. No, 100% profit. So it came all the way up here this morning. I got out at 107, right? So on Tuesday, I was supposed to get out here, but I felt like we could get up to remember I told you guys yesterday, 337. I felt like we could definitely get over to 337 just by the way we were moving, right? So we broke, and I'm going to use strat terminology, right? So this candle is a number 2, right? So 2 can be up or down, and I'll do a video talking about the strat and what these numbers represent. But essentially, if we broke 335, because the day before we kind of ended the day like 334, 333, and I felt like we could, what was I on the 5-minute? I think I may have been on the 15-minute, right? So we ended the previous day around 333. So I felt like we were going to get a spike, and we did get that spike on AVGO. So I took profit early at 107. So I got in at 80, 107. So it was about $27 profit, right? Which was around 30 something percent, almost 40% profit, right? But if we got in a little bit, if we would have waited our entry, it would have been perfect. We would have had 100% on AVGO. AVGO was a good trade for us. Okay, let's see, what else am I in? So currently I am in Apple. Remember guys, I kept talking about Apple. Because Apple has earnings. Apple has earnings tomorrow afternoon, right? So I may be looking, so it's a 130, 280, 130. I said 130. Why am I saying 130? 280, 130, meaning the Friday. So this contract expires Friday, and this is, I paid $16 on the contract, right? We were looking like we were trying to come back down here, and like I said, we may have been looking to reverse later on in the day. I kind of tried to time it around the FOMC to see if we got news. So tomorrow it may be, we might lose this $15. I'm okay to lose the $15 if it goes down, but I'm looking for it to come back up, maybe into the 40 range, trying to get back up to this 260. And if it gets back up to 260, I might hold, because I believe we could get back up to, 2 overnight due to earnings. We might be able to get back up into the 270, 275, 280 range, which would be perfect, because that would push, right, this $16 contract. We could go as high as $100 on that, which would be 5x, or maybe even 6-7x what we paid for it. So that's what I'm banking on making $80 to $90 on this contract. So I might hold it until Friday morning and see where we're at, depending on how tomorrow goes, right? If tomorrow doesn't go like I want to, or I might just buy another contract, if we're gonna be honest with you, I might just buy another contract that's $20 that expires. Um, a lotto pick that could go up. I pay $15-$20 on it, and then watch it shoot up. So I might just buy a lotto. Depending on how tomorrow go, I might get a lotto. Right, I might just take my profit on this one. If it gets to 35.40, and then I'll take a lotto for Friday. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely looking at Apple to potentially get all the way back up to the 270 to 278 range. I'm also in UNH. I got into UNH primarily because UNH was getting beat up, right? So there's a gap to fill. Let's look at the day. All right, so UNH got hit, I believe, because of the Medicare, Trump's evaluation, or Trump's administration's evaluation of the Medicare for UNH, right? So on Monday, it totally tanked, 50 to 60 points, right? $60. So, and then on Wednesday, we looked like we were ready to reverse and maybe fill some in this gap. So I took a contract out. I think, like I said, the contract was only like 17, $18. But if we reverse, right, it's a big gap to fill. Big gap to fill. Look at this. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how far that's going, but so we could this could be an opportunity. Like I said, it's a lotto play for me. I don't expect it to. It could do something, but for $18, 17, $18, it definitely can go to the moon. So that's just something I'm trying to make sure. How much did I pay for that? $19. I paid $19 for that. So definitely was a lotto. I did take a loss. I took two losses actually. I took a $5 loss on Oracle. I don't really want to talk about Oracle because they did some crazy stuff. But I'm still looking at Oracle, guys. I am still looking at Oracle. Oracle can blow any day, so definitely keep Oracle on your list, like I have on my tick list. Oracle can reverse any day, right? It's at 170. It's nothing for it to go back up to 180, 190. 190 fairly quickly, right? And when that day comes, right? So we have a 3. A 3 usually means a reversal of some kind, and it did reverse, right? Because it's engulfing the two candles, so it reversed on the low side. If we look at it here, and the reason I got into it, I was looking at it is because it did pass up the daily high, or 2 up. If we pass this up, this turns into a 2 up. And I was thinking maybe we can get back up to 185 or potentially 180. Let's go to the 15 minute. Right. So this was early, remember? So I'm thinking, oh, we might reverse. And then we got faked out. It hit 181. Right. So it went up pretty fast, and usually we go pretty fast. And look at this candle. Candle came touched, and then it came all the way back down, and it's down now. So it's been beat up, but like I said, keep your eye on it. We're looking at this is a $10 change. So I think the contract was $13. I lost $5, $18 on it, to $8. So we lost that. Also Netflix. I was in Netflix. I paid $11 for Netflix contract, but I got Netflix like, when did I get in Netflix? I think Tuesday I got in Netflix when it reversed here. Or maybe I was in it. Maybe I was in it when it was high. Or maybe I got Netflix. I think I might have got Netflix Monday. Yeah, I think I got Netflix Monday. I thought we were ready to kind of get back up, but it stayed here, bombed, right? And then I thought we were reversing to kind of go back up, maybe touch back up to where we were. I can just get rid of the contract, but then it bombed. So Netflix, keep your eye on Netflix. Netflix and Oracle have been beat up, but when Netflix goes, has opportunity to, once we get out of this stupor, has opportunity to kind of go up 88, 89, 90. So I don't know. I might get if it comes back down, if we come back down, let's say to 83, if we come back down to 83, 82, then I might get a contract for next week and then just ride out Netflix, because I have a feeling it's going to reverse one of these days and get back up to 88. So if we get in here, we push it out. Let's just look at this. Let's look at some of the contracts. As I said, Netflix. This is Oracle. Netflix. Matter of fact, while we here, let's just 75. Let's look at it here. Let's do 90C. What did I put on here? Netflix. All right, let's say 90C on Netflix. Hold on. Oh, 6, right? I had the right date. 90C Netflix 25. If we get back up, 4. If we get back up to like an 87, what's this? The week high. This is $4. Week 50%, 86. All right, so we could get up if we get out this rut and we get back up here. So we could get some good traction. And this might be a 5-6xer. So keep Netflix on your ticker list as well as Oracle, and wait for that to reverse. Like I said, give yourself some time on it. Let's say 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not even bad. $50. 2 weeks. 90, $50. And then if it goes down a little bit lower, right, you can get in around maybe 30. I don't know. This chart is weird. Right. So maybe you can get in around 30, 40 and then hold it for 2 weeks and wait for it to reverse. Because in 2 weeks' time, we should be able to get back up to these numbers, and you might 100 to 200 percent on the on this. So yeah, we're gonna keep Netflix on the chart, on the ticker list. All right. So let's see what else that I want to kind of go over. I talked about UNH. Talked about shop that I'm in UNH. Am I in UNH? Or did I get out of UNH? I might have got out of UNH. Oh, I did get out of UNH. I'll just wait till tomorrow. And I might get into UNH tomorrow. So keep your eye on UNH. Walmart. What else we have on the list? Let's say UNH, Walmart, Apple, and JP. Oh, I didn't talk about the bank stocks. Last thing, we're going to talk about the bank stocks, and then we're going to look at what tomorrow could be, preparing for tomorrow. Okay. All right. So JPM, I took I got in a good play. I think I got 60% on JPM today. It was at $13. I think I sold at $19. I got two contracts and I sold both of them at $9. So, or I got in two of them at 12. Let me just double check to make sure I'm accurate. JPM. No, I bought JPM the same day. I bought JPM at 12. Two contracts at 12, so $24. So we got a total profit of $14, right? 60%. And we sold them at 19. So let's look at JPM and what I was looking at. Let's look at all. JPM. I'm gonna look at the 15-minute. Let's see. I did the 310. Remember, I was telling you guys on the list 310, 130 daily, right? And if I do a contract that's expiring on a week, I'm pretty much looking at a daily, unless I get in it early in the week. But I'm looking more so at a daily, like a 1-2 day type sample size. All right. So look, JPM. Options. Look at JPM. 310. Where am I going? 310, right? So here you go. JPM. It's getting beat up, right? Came back down here in the order block. Down here, right? So we touched what I felt like was support. And I took a gamble and I was like, it was 9:15. Remember, guys, I wait till about 9:15, 9:20. And usually around that time we could see a reversal, right? So we were at 298. So I took the two contracts and boom, we went up. As we were going up, we actually went a little bit higher. I sold like around here, just because what I had on my chart was, I think we had like I want to say it was a gap on the chart, right? Kind of an order block where we could touch it and come back down. So I didn't even mess with it. I came up, I touched. Oh yeah, it came. We started to go up. We came back down a little bit, right? And I was like, I don't want to lose profit, so I went ahead and took that. And then the next 15 minutes, right? So these are 15-minute candles. So the next 15 minutes, I decided to go ahead and take profit, but then it started to go up a little bit more. So essentially, we could have got 100%. I got 60%. We could have definitely got 100% on JPM, and then shortly after that, once it came up here, it reversed, it came back down, and then there was a weird spike, 130 at the Fed talk, and then it came back down. So I'm gonna keep JPM. Like I said, if we look here, finance has been getting beat up. So tomorrow you're gonna have MasterCard and Visa and SoFi on Friday. So definitely waiting for JPM and Berkshire Hathaway to recover, because a lot of money can be made on those. So definitely keep that. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all of these tickers, those are cheaper ones, on your timing. And just so we can look at the daily chart on JPM, right? So the other thing, if we pass, so we are like 301. If we pass 302, which would be the daily high, which would turn into a 2 up, right? We could get all the way up to 305 or 308, which would turn JPM right? Which could turn JPM, stupid. All right, we could another 6-7x on JPM. So keep your eyes on JPM and Berkshire Hathaway, because when they reverse, they're going to reverse. All right. So that's that. Okay, let's talk about what we think could happen tomorrow. All right. So we have a 3 here on the candle. All right, it's 15-minute. Let's look at the daily. So daily, let's put broadening formations. We're gonna do broadening formations on here just to see. So we got a high, right? And we got a so we're definitely looking where, so it looks like we touched here, right? Boom, we came up to 636, and then we came back down, right? So depending on how tech is looking and what happens to Tesla, Tesla had earnings. I believe they went up. Let's look at Tesla real quick. Let's look at Tesla. Yeah, so Tesla had earnings. So Tesla, excuse me, was at 430, right? Had a good earnings session after hours, and went up to 450. Now I'm expecting it to probably get back to 450, maybe again tomorrow. We'll see if it touches that. So pay attention to Tesla. But Tesla was expensive. If you remember yesterday, we looked at Tesla. I wanted to get in Tesla, but if we go to option strat, Tesla was so high. Yeah, you see these contracts? Look at this implied volatility. Like, this is out of control. Like $200 for a 500 C contract. Oh, this far. Oh, wow. Did that happen yesterday, guys? We could have gotten a Tesla, guys. I did not even look at the expiration. I would have gotten into Tesla. Mm. But that's so far though. 500 is so far. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't want to do it. 500 was so far. It didn't make sense. Yeah, Tesla didn't make sense. But as if you're in the Tesla. So if we come back here, DraftKings is not doing hot. SanDisk and WD and Western Digital continue to keep going. Went up 30, 40. This is crazy. I mean, these contracts are too high, so don't even worry about it. But I just thought to have it on the ticker just in case. You never know. Okay. All right, Nvidia, drop back down. Keep your eye on Nvidia. We might have a pullback. Okay, so we're talking about QQQ in the market and what we see. All right, so let's look at Q. Might be a short pullback. This is on the daily. And where could it go? 627. We could touch here 627. 629. Looking like 629. 629. So we could come back down and go back up. We don't know. But if we're just looking at, we're getting close to a high, but you never know. You never know. Let's see on the weekly. Let's look at the weekly. You never know. We could go, depending on what the market want to do. We could go higher. All right. So we came back up here. So we went plus 10 this week. So anything up from here is up in the air, right? Let's look at SPY. What in the world? SPY, same thing. We're at I guess SPY hit an all-time high. 697. Is it all-time high? Yep. 696, 697. Could be time for it to come back down. 693. 691. Let's see what it looked like after hours. Oh. After hours, we went to 698. We could come back to 698, y'all. Like I said, keep your eyes on SPY QQQ tomorrow to see where the market is going. We could potentially set all-time highs again, get up to 698, 610, right? So I said 610, 700, 610, 700, 699, 700. So tomorrow can be pretty crazy. Just be prepared for it. Let's look at IWM. So IWM cratered. Why? Oh, because financial market went down. Industrial sector is okay. The health went down, but it could recover. We could see a recovery. So IWM is like a cheaper. This is the 2,000 of all the top 2,000 stocks, right? ETF. So if we're down 262, you could see us get back up to 266 or even higher, back up to 270. We'll just see. Keep your eye on IWM tomorrow. All right. So that's basically it. That's kind of all the things that we have on the ticker. Microsoft, I think, had a pullback, even though the earnings were stupid. Yeah, keep your eye on Microsoft. I should have said that. Let's add Microsoft to the list. Keep your eye on Microsoft. Earnings torched. It got torched in earnings. I guess people took profit. Right? This is wow. It's a lot of shares. But yeah, keep your eye on Microsoft. I'm not sure if the contract's updated. I know it's probably really high implied volatility. So it's expensive. Definitely expensive, but as the expiration dates comes closer, these contracts are going to be a lot cheaper. So if I see anything on Microsoft, I definitely will let you guys know. I'm not looking at getting into it, but that drop, what was it again? 4 hours. That drop, we dropped all the way down here, 440, right? So get ready for this gap to get filled. So definitely keep Microsoft on your list. All right, everybody, that is it for Stock Nightcap for tonight. And we typically do this every night. If you're new, come with some questions. Let's look at, and also come with some tickers. Maybe we can look at that in addition to what I have on my list. And let's get a plan together for the next day, the next week, the next month. I think it'd be beneficial for everybody that's viewing, everybody involved. I'll catch you guys tomorrow as we recap the market, and I'll let you know if I got into anything, if I lost any money, if I made any money. Appreciate you guys for checking out the video or the live, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.